call a spade a spade. This wasn't self-defense. I'm sorry. I've been following this story up from the get-go, and this is the first time I'll be talking about it. I feel bad for Karmelo Anthony. Maybe the black part of me did not want him to be found guilty, but at the end of the day, that was not self-defense. I feel like self-defense is the absence of option. It's the absence of no other option. It's like you're backed up to a wall and now you have to fight to defend yourself. If there are options to leave, get away, run, go elsewhere, and yet for some reason you still escalate the situation into a place where it gets fatal, you can't call it self-defense. I like it. It's a hard pill to swallow, but learning about this Karmelo Anthony's case kind of just sort of even if you're a black person, even if you want to get away with this, because I understand that America is so soiled in a way where most black people don't even care if the black person did it or not. They just want to see a black person get away with killing a white person to make up for all the times white people have gotten away with killing black people. I understand that case, but at some point we gotta call a spade a spade. And even if we wanted him to get away with it, we gotta admit that it wasn't self-defense. At least let's just be truthful and know that yes, this guy really did it. Like, or let's say what he did was not self-defense. I wouldn't even say it was premeditated murder per se. I don't know what degree of murder this is, because I know for a fact that he did not leave his home to come to that track meeting to kill this boy. But the situation that has been explained is not a situation that required him to resort to bringing out a knife and stabbing somebody in the chest. It wasn't I've tried my best to find every reason to believe it was warranted, but it wasn't. For those who don't know the story, this happened far back in 2025, sometime in April of 2025 in Texas. Karmelo Anthony, a 17-year-old boy at the time, had come to a track field meeting, some kind of inter-house sport between schools in that community, I guess. So they meet in a track, in a stadium looking place where they come to prepare for heat. I don't know what they were preparing for. I'm guessing there's a sport, or I don't know, but it's sport-like track events meeting between students of different schools. Karmelo comes, it's raining, he sees a tent because his school's tent has not been set up yet. So he goes into this tent where we hear that he knew somebody from the other school who was in that tent, who called him over, and he's taking shelter there when upon these two white boys, Austin Metcalf and his twin brother, comes in, sees Karmelo, and is like, yeah, you're not supposed to be here, leave. And I think this is where the whole drama starts from. They start urging Karmelo to leave the tent because he's not from that school, and the tent where he is at is taking up space for people who should be there. Now, I don't know if at this point it was still raining and if his tent has already been set up, but it's starting to seem like, from what we hear, Anthony didn't want to leave because, I don't know, I'm not so sure. If his tent has already been set up and if it's not longer raining, I think it was time for him to leave, in my opinion. For some reason, he didn't leave, and that started going back and forth between him and the supposed twin brothers. Now, what I could not understand from the story is if everybody else in the tent was asking him to leave. We also heard, I read somewhere that the Anthony boy tells the white boy that nobody has a problem with him being there, so he's not going to go anywhere, and they would have no problem as long as they don't touch him or they don't put their hands on him. Now, here is the thing. This is the whole picture. Anthony is sitting down throughout. The two boys who are bigger in size than he was were the ones now obviously in the aggressor position. But Anthony reaches his hands inside his bag almost as though he's reaching for something. And people, at this point, when someone reaches their hand in the bag, you're thinking, okay, it's a gun because this is America. If it's Nigeria, I would assume it's a bottle. If it's the UK, I would know it's a knife. But here he reached his hand in the bag and they're calling his bluff. The victim, the Metcalf boy, the Austin boy, was like still urging him to leave, still urging him to get away from the tent, but he still wouldn't. And somewhere in between, Austin shoves him, and just in the middle of shoving him, Anthony stabs Austin in the chest. And Austin falls down in his brother's hands. He's rushed to the hospital where they said he lost his life. Now, the case has been on trial. Anthony is claiming self-defense, but the state is saying that this was murder. I don't know what degree specifically. The only thing now is the nation is divided. Or should I say was divided? Many people believe it was self-defense. Some people say not self-defense, that he just went there to look for trouble. Unfortunately, he has been found guilty and has been sentenced to 35 years. We don't know if they will appeal. I hope they do, but at the end of the day, as sad as this is, when you look at the details surrounding the incident itself, you can tell and you can almost see that this is not particularly self-defense and is not exactly murder in its sense. I don't think this boy came there to kill this boy, but I know what he did caused his death. However, he did not need to do that. Just my own thoughts. Because after he stabs this boy, he runs away. He finally leaves the tent. That is the problem here. So, it would have been self-defense if they were trying to keep him in that tent and they were all circling him to stay in that tent and he had no other way to leave the tent but to stab somebody and run away. But if the whole case was that, bro, please leave, if they were begging you to leave, asking you to leave, and you did not leave, and after you fight back and stab somebody, you now leave and run away, it's like, then why couldn't you just leave in the first place? Why couldn't you just leave? Why couldn't you, the run that you now run after you have stabbed somebody was the run you should have run before stabbing them, and that way, yes, you look weak, you come off like a weak coward. I don't know why you should be ashamed for appearing weak. Those two guys were bigger than you, so naturally you should feel a sort of way. Was it two boys in the right? Maybe not, because in my mind I'm like, is the Austin boy a class prefect? Is it a sports prefect? Is it a head boy? Who is he to tell somebody to leave a tent? If there are coaches in the vicinity, why don't they go and meet the coach and tell the coach, please, this boy's in our tent, get him out of here? Why? I don't know how the system in America, but I know if this was in over here, you're not taking laws or school duty in your hands. Call the teacher, call the principal, call somebody and let them get him out of there. But for the twin to take it upon themselves to have to get this boy out of the tent indicate that they were trying to oppress and bully him. That's just the truth. It just shows and indicates that they are most likely bullies. That is just what it was. Because why are you guys telling him 15 times to leave? I'm hearing, oh, he was told 15 times to leave. By who? The police? I'm so sorry. I'm not going to be told by a classmate of mine or a schoolmate of mine to live somewhere where they did not build. You didn't build it unless you were the ones who mounted this tent yourself, or you created this tent and you brought it from your house. You don't have the right to tell me to leave. But at the same time, I'm not going to escalate it to a situation where it gets to a point where I have to bring out a knife and stab somebody. I feel like these are just two extreme ends where it did not need to get to where it got to at all. At the end of the day, Karmelo Anthony still left. He left, ran away after stabbing the boy. If you had sat down there, I would have understood you stabbed the boy because he wanted to stay there. So if you could leave, why didn't you just leave? You could have just left and just, people are saying he brought a knife because he was ready for fight. I understand, because I've seen some people make comment that, over there it's brutal, people get bullied, people get jumped, people get robbed. I understand him going with a knife, which just say it was legal for him to carry that. The knife he used was not an illegal weapon according to the state Texas law. But at the same time, I felt like this boy just wanted an opportunity to use it for some reason. And I would have assumed that the opportunity would come one day in his life, but I don't think this was the opportunity. You cannot claim self-defense if there were so many ways to de-escalate the situation. Self-defense to me should come at the point where there was nothing else you could have done. In that situation, Karmelo Anthony could have done so much more. He would have been a lot more verbal. He would have been a lot more physical by standing up and maybe leaving. And I was told somebody invited him there. Why didn't everyone else speak for him though? Why was it only the two twin brother that had an issue with him? It was just almost confusing. I don't know. I don't want to make this a race thing, but when you put race aside and see the incident for what it is, you could tell this was just two sets of troublemakers. The twin brothers came there to look for trouble. It was their tent, but when you tell somebody one or two times they refuse to leave, call somebody in a higher position, call the coach or something, call a teacher, call a school, call a security. And Carmelo Anthony himself, after being told to leave, even if you did not want to leave, even if you don't want to leave, it was bringing out a knife or even agitating there, like, touch me and see what happens. Touch me and you'll find out. No, touch me. As long as you don't touch me, that was just agitating enough. It's something you say to trigger somebody to actually touch you because you have something you want to do. And it felt like there was so many ways that this could have gone east, but given the egos of both sides, it went south. Sadly, Austin Metcalf is dead, and he should not have died for such stupid situation. It wasn't that serious. Over a tent now. The truth now is, was it worth it though? Austin or the brother, was it really worth? When you look at it at the end of the day, yes, Anthony messed up so bad. But look at it, was it really worth it though? If maybe I could ask the brother, if you guys had to go back in time, knowing what has happened now, do you think it was worth it? Talking about a boy or forcing a boy to leave the tent. If you knew it was going to get to this, you would have just minded your business, do what you needed to do, and leave. It wasn't worth it. And if you ask the same thing to Anthony, Carmelo, was it really worth it though? It's not like they were trying to force themselves on you or rob you or attack you to a wall and bully you or give you a wedgie or what do they do? Jump you. The situation itself was not worthy of this much drama. It's a thing of leave the tent. If he does not want to leave, oh yeah, Namona Alara may did it. I'm sure the tent should have been enough for one extra person. I don't know what's there to share a tent. It's not like he's stealing or doing that. And you too, if it got to the point where you feel like your life was in danger, you need to defend yourself, why not try the option of leaving? Walk away and see if there was still need for you to use the knife. The knife should have been the last resort. But there were so many other options for Anthony Carmelo to take. The option of begging them to stay. The option of saying, okay, give me time. The option of saying, okay, I'm just going to leave. The option of going back home and resting. Do you even have to be there? Go home, eat food, and sleep. You guys like school too much in America. Over here, ain't nobody got time. I come there's no canopy or no tent set up. I'm going home to watch some Cartoon Network. I don't have that time to be fighting over canopy with two privileged rights. I ain't got that time. It won't get to that point where you would need to reach your back to stab a knife. It's unfortunate. Let's just see. I hope they appeal. If they appeal, I would love to see. I don't want him to spend 35 years is heavy because I don't think it's premeditated, but he messed up. He made a terrible, silly mistake that has cost someone's life, and he should pay for it somehow, some way. I don't know what that way would be, but he should go do something for it. It shouldn't just be set free. It's not self-defense. It's not murder, but it's not self-defense. And just for clarity, for those who be like, okay, if it's not murder and it's not self-defense, then what is it? In my mind, I'll most likely it's just say manslaughter. I guess so. He probably just wanted to fight back, but because he stabbed just once and ran away. So that is, never mind. Whatever. If they say it's murder, then I guess it's murder. I guess it's murder. Let's just be saying, but it's not premeditated murder. That's all I can say. It's not first degree murder. He didn't plan to come and kill these two people. This young man. So it just happened, and unfortunately, during the fight, it happened.